This is Jewish Prepper 1. We're continuing with Surviving in the City from the LDS Preparedness Manual 5.4. Storing and hiding your food. Storing food is just as important in the city as it is in the country, but hiding it is far more important. That's because in the worst areas, marauders will be going from house to house demanding your food or your life. If you're dumb enough to put everything you own in the obvious places, you might as well not buy it in the first place. They will find it. To count on having any amount of food left over after the marauders break in, you'll need to hide your food. One alternative is to plan on defending your home with force. If you have enough gun-wise people in the house, and enough firearms and ammo, you can probably pull this off. But most people aren't nearly as experienced with firearms as the gang members. A better alternative might be to plan on bringing your supplies to a central building where all the people in the pool can defend their resources. This, of course, depends greatly on your organization and your membership. Back to hiding. The best way to hide your food is to bury it. You'll need airtight containers, long-term food that won't rot, and you'll need to plan ahead. Bury your food at night so nobody will notice, and make sure you don't leave the map on the refrigerator door. Better to memorize it. Try to get the ground to look normal after you're finished, and you'll want to bury your food as early as possible because it gives the grass time to regrow over the spot. If you're in an area that snows, you'll have a great concealment blanket. Most food marauders won't go to the trouble to dig up food, especially if they can find it elsewhere, and you insist that you don't have any. Here's the best plan. Have some smaller amount of food stashed around the house, letting them find something. Better to give them something and send them on their way. The art of hiding your food is an ancient one. You've got to be creative. Use the walls, the floors, and the structure of the house. If hiding your food is simply not an available alternative, then try not to advertise it. Keep it put away in your house or garage in a discreet manner as possible. Don't make a point of telling people that you have a year's supply or more. Word gets around fast that you have a ton of food in your garage. Boxes of food fit nicely under beds, behind furniture, and in the attic, etc. So be creative. To sum up the food storage, you really have to have 3 strategies here. Store it all in your house and plan on defending it by force. Bury it in your yard in case you get overrun by looters. Store part of it in your house and hide the bulk of it. Or relocate all of it as soon as you recognize a major disaster is in progress. Alternative to burying, that would be faster and easier, would be to simply build a false wall in your garage and seal up your food behind the false wall. Sure, you might lose 2 to 3 feet of usable space in your garage, but the trade-off is knowing everything is safe and sound. Storing extra water. Water can be stored in exactly the same way, although you might want to bury the barrel before you actually fill it with water. Make sure you treat your storage water, rotate it, or have filters on hand when you get ready to use it. If you don't have a yard or it's not practical to bury your water, you'll have to store water inside your house. This can get very tricky because water takes up a lot of space and it's very difficult to conceal. It's best to get containers made for long-term storage, but in a pinch, use what you can find. Just make sure it's clean and food-grade material. But a lot of these containers will deteriorate quickly and they may break easily. Also consider what happens if your water may be subjected to freezing. Will your container survive? Be sure to leave enough airspace to handle the expansion. In order to prepare yourself for the water shortage, assuming you're going to stay in the city, stock at least 6 months of water at minimum, 2 gallons a day per person. That's nearly 400 gallons of water if you have 2 people. Of course, even with the best in-house preparations, you may find yourself depleted of water resources and supplies. In this situation, one of the best defenses is to have a really good water filter, like a Katadyn filter, that can remove parasites and bacteria from your water. You can also treat your water in other ways: iodine, distillation, silver solution, bleach, etc. Armed with these items, you can safely use stream or river water, or even pond water for drinking. Water wells. By far the best solution for obtaining long-term water supplies is to drill a well. Buy the best quality hand pump available, cast iron pumps available from Lehman's, and a good cylinder. They will last a lifetime if installed properly. With this setup, you'll have a nearly unlimited supply of water. The total cost of doing this, depending on where you live, ranges from $4,000 to $6,000. Is it worth it? If you got the money, I think so. However, many cities simply don't allow drilling of wells, so you may not be able to get one drilled even if you want to. The deeper your well, the more expensive it gets. Most well drilling companies charge by the foot. When water is deeper, you also need a bigger pump and a more powerful cylinder, so the costs tend to really grow the deeper you go. If you can find water at 20 feet, you're very lucky, and it might not cost you even $2,000. If you have to go down to 200 feet, it might cost you $7,500. And you're at the depth limit of hand-powered pumps anyway. We're going to continue on with the next video, defending your life and property. Please stay tuned. This is Jewish Prepper 1.